Hello folks, welcome back to another build video. This time around, as you can guess, we're going holiday themed. So you've got your O'Carroll, you've got your Slayer, and you have your Chill Out Mask, and you're wondering what the heck to do with them. The O'Carroll has some pretty lights, the Slayer's good for confusing people, and the Chill Out has 2 mod slots. So quite honestly, you can probably toss out the O'Carroll and the Slayer, they're just gonna get you killed. Jokes aside, the Chill Out Mask is the most useful of the 3 holiday items, second only of course to the apparel. But for real now, the Chill Out Mask is really great when you're talking about a protection from elites build. So the holiday stuff aside, that's what this build really is. It's a protection from elites build, and also somewhat critically, a hunters build. Because hunters, for those of you who are unaware, count as elite enemies when it comes to the protection from elite calculations. So off the top, we have the Survivalist specialization, specifically for the plus 10% protection from elites that it provides. Everything else kind of secondary. For the primary weapon, we have the tried and true Scorpio shotgun. I've talked about it before, I'll talk about it again, I'm sure. But again, the main thing that we're looking for here is the poison, the disorient, and the shock. Specifically when you're talking about hunters and higher level enemies, you put 3 rounds into them to disorient them, reload, 3 more rounds gets us to shock. Put as many rounds into them as you can at an additional 20% damage. Once the status effects wear off, rinse and repeat. Secondary weapon, I've got Emmeline's Guard on. This is much more of a preferential piece. You can absolutely go with something else if you'd rather. I went with Emmeline's Guard specifically for the perfect preservation talent, and then additionally the SMG's critical hit chance as a secondary attribute is quite nice. Sidearm, I've got the card on there. If you want to go somewhere else, I won't blame you, but the +1 skill tier is nice given that this is also a shield build. Additionally, if you are playing in a group, you can always switch to your sidearm before you throw out your Revive Hive, and it'll give you 2 charges as opposed to just 1. And now we get into the holiday tie-in here. We've got the Chill Out Mask. For those of you who this is your first time picking it up, it is a really great mask. I would definitely recommend if you see this video during the holiday period, go and get this mask. Specifically for those 2 mod slots down there, you do have to give up one of your attribute slots, but very crucially for a protection from elites build, it allows you to put 2 protection from elites mods on this mask. If you're really blessed and you have 13% protection from elites, put those on. Obviously 12%ers are far more common. You can sometimes find them at the vendors, specifically the clan vendor will have it occasionally. Definitely recommend picking up these. If not, just put in the highest you have. Obviously I have 12% across the board, so that's what I'll be using in my calculations. If you have 13s, fantastic for you. But other than that, we've got our basic armor core, protection from elite mods, and I've rolled critical hit chance onto this piece. As you'll see further on, that's going to be a trend. Critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and protection from elites. So with the backpack here, we have some of that critical hit damage that we just spoke about. Grupo Sombra gives you 15% on its brand bonus. We've got a weapon core that makes you hit harder. And then we've got critical hit damage and critical hit chance. And we obviously also have a protection from elite mod. For the talent, we have Adrenaline Rush. Given that you're wielding a shotgun, you're going to be close and personal. 20% bonus armor is quite nice, especially when going against hunters. For our third piece here, we have the Zero F's chest piece that has obviously perfectly unbreakable. Brand bonus of 10% shotgun damage is quite nice. And if I could, I would have critical hit damage on that, but very crucially, we have the protection from elites mod. For the gloves, we have Contractor's Gloves. As you'll see, I've gone with something of the critical hit build staples of the Contractor's Gloves for the 8% damage to armor. And on the knee pads, we have Fox's Prayer. 8% damage to target out of cover is going to be nice against hunters, though this is somewhere you could go with a different piece if you want to get another brand bonus, maybe get some Sokolovs in there for the critical hit chance, for example. And then here we have the last unique piece. We have an improvised holster. So for those of you who don't know, you can craft improvised gear at the crafting station, and all of those pieces forego a brand bonus in favor of a mod slot. Obviously that is particularly critical with gloves, holsters, and knee pads, given that those pieces don't normally have mod slots. And when you're working on a protection from elites build, those improvised pieces give you a great opportunity to add more protection. Getting a god-rolled improvised piece can take quite a lot of time and materials. As you can tell, This piece is nowhere near perfect, and as you can see later in the video, it is still more than good enough to be used. Keep in mind, protection from elites does still cap at 80%, otherwise you would be able to get to 100% and you would be completely invulnerable from elites, which, while it would be great for my power trip, might make the game a little bit broken. So all told, this build has 70% protection from elites. We have the 5 mods plus the 10% from the survivalist specialization. So that's obviously 10% lower than the 80% cap, but I personally feel that the additional damage that you get from Contractor's Gloves and Fox's Prayer outweigh the additional 10% that you could get from another improvised piece. So obviously that is a choice. So a very easy pivot that you could make in this build if you do want to max to the 80% would be to drop Fox's Prayer for another improvised piece that would allow you to put on protection from elites and get you up to the 80% cap. But again, personally, I felt the additional damage that you deal from 8% damage to target out of cover was worth the trade-off. You may or may not. Let me know what you do in the comments below. For the skills, we have the Reviver Hive that's going to save you if you go down against an elite and you're not disrupted. And then we do have the Crusader Ballistic Shield. So while you're not relying on your skills, given the Hunter's disruptability, you will see during the video there are times when you can have your skills out. The shield is really nice there. The Revive Hive is again kind of a Hail Mary. Obviously, something you could easily swap out there is the Riot Foam if you'd rather go that route. It's a perfectly good way to go as well. So that is it for this build. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.